This is Mac with Max 29, and I have here a Stampede 4x4 VXL. I bought it December 2010, right when they came out. Might have been closer to January, but I know I bought them like the week they came out. So that's how long I've had it, and I have other videos at my channel, Max 29, of it bashing, and I've done a couple videos on shortening the body posts, and the King's Head motor mount, and the MIP shafts. So this is kind of like after about 7 months of running it. I run my truck every day if I can, at least on average probably 3 days a week, 1 or 2 battery packs. And so that just gives you an idea of how often I've run it, and so how many battery packs have gone through it. And I always put a full battery pack through it. So anyway, I run it on the street, I run it at that bash site in my other video. Anyway, so that hill on that other video is about 6 feet high, so it's jumping up over that another like 6 feet, but then it lands about 12 or 13 feet down on the other side. So that just gives you an idea of how far it's actually falling when it hits the ground. And so just right off the bat, I'll tell you what I've broken since I got the truck. I have broken many half shafts. Therefore, I upgraded to the MIP extra duty shafts, front and rear. And I think it's not a must do, but if you get irritated with replacing half shafts, then I think it's about even by the time you spend $5 to $10 to buy the different half shaft. You can buy a whole assembly for $10, you can buy each piece individually for like $5. They sell them like the yoke and just the shaft separately. So to me, it's just inconvenient replacing them all the time. So I've had these for like almost the whole entire time. I've had them pretty fast and pretty quickly after I bought the truck. And the only thing I've ever had happen is the screws. I don't know if you can see this. The screws that hold it on the output shaft on the front diff, those just kind of like come out a little bit. They're like, there's 2 little grub screws. Then that comes off, and I've actually lost the female side of the slider. But luckily I found it the 2 times it came off. So just check those grub screws. Make sure you use good Loctite. Just kind of like make sure they're tight every once in a while. So that's kind of like the overview of MIP. Really good upgrade. And just make sure frustration level go way down and your enjoyment level go way up. The other upgrade I've done to the truck is I've done the King's Head motor mount. And I haven't said it before, but I'm just saying that with that bigger bearing, I used to go through a bearing on the stock one in the summer when it's dry and dusty, like every other pack, maybe 3 battery packs at the most. This one here, I've probably replaced that bearing 2 or 3 times since I upgraded. And well, I used to have that problem with the Slash 4x4. When I bought this kit, I upgraded this before I even ran it. So they're identical, Slash 4x4, this, as far as that assembly. This one here, I replaced that, or maintained or replaced that bearing like 3 times as I got the kit. So every other pack, every few months. So if that gives you any idea of comparing those 2 things. I have to do that, but I highly recommend it. It makes my life easier. Probably make your life easier too. So after doing those 2 upgrades, MIP shafts, aluminum head, or King Head's motor mount, that makes this truck pretty much indestructible, in my opinion. I mean, you're going to bend the shafts on the shocks. You're going to break a part here or there. The one other part I broke is I broke one of these rear hubs. And a lot of people break those on the Slash 4x4 also. But that was like 2 weeks ago, so after like over 6 months of driving it, landing, boom, boom, back on the, I land bumper, I land wheelie bar first, I land right on the rear tire, right on the other rear tire, you know, whatever. I've cartwheeled, I don't know, 30 feet. I jumped it 20 feet in the air, I landed hard, and after all that I broke one of those, and it's like a $3 part. I had one left over when I had the Slash. I just bought a new pair for backup. That's another thing I'd recommend. Just, you know, get a couple backup parts of the cheap stuff that when you're out running, you can just swap out real quick, you know. A couple of these little knuckles for the steering and just stuff like that. Oh, I have also put RPM A-arms on this only because I had bought some replacement on the Slash and I didn't put them on. So I just, when I sold the Slash 4x4, I took the stock A-arms on this, sold it with that, so someone, whoever bought that, would have some new spares, and then I just put all the new RPMs on this. I don't think you have to do that, but I just think they're just a little bit better. And because I only broke an A-arm on the Slash once after hitting a pretty hard trench at full speed. So anyway, so you don't break a lot of parts on this, considering how much I bashed it, comparing it to other vehicles I've owned. And I'm going to do another video about the other little modifications I've done to the truck to just customize it a little bit, or to bring down frustration levels. They don't really add any durability to the kit. So if you don't know what you want to do, if you don't know if you want to drop the coin to purchase the Stampede 4x4, but you want something just like this, you want a truly 10th scale 4-wheel drive truck, this weighs about 5 pounds, fully loaded, this is what I'd recommend. And it's worth the money compared to what you can get from another company. And I have put the Mamba Max Pro and the Castle 3800 motor in it. I just like it better. I don't care about waterproofing. That's not a must-have, but boy, it adds a lot of kick to this truck. And so I've owned an E-Firestorm. I have the low C short course buggy I just got. I have a Hyper 9E. I've had 2 Stampede 2-wheel drives, 2 Rustlers. I've had the Slash 4-wheel drive, the Slash 2-wheel drive. I'm just telling you that so you know where I come from as far as comparing this to other kits. Yes, I've owned a lot of Traxxas. I've owned a couple Hoffners. I have the Hyper 10TT. I think this is a little bit better than Hyper 10T for bashing. So that's my perspective of where I come from. So I don't have a lot to compare to. Oh, I have owned an E-Max, and I like this better than the E-Max. Just 2 reasons. I don't cringe every time I launch it in the air and it lands because it doesn't weigh 10 pounds. It weighs only 5, so I'm always afraid of breaking the front bulkhead on the E-Max. And it takes 1 battery pack, 1 2S LiPo. That's all I ever ran in this thing. That's what I only really need. I don't care about going super fast. And I don't have to charge 2 battery packs every time I run it like the E-Max. And it's easier to work on than the E-Max. And it's still 4-wheel drive. I can still take it just about anywhere the E-Max could go. And I have a work van that I go to work with. I can throw it in the work van on one of the shelves. I always have it with me. And I can just swing by at a site where I work and bash it after work. Don't have to lug around a big old thing, take a bunch of room in a car. So that's some considerations you might be able to take in when you buy it, comparing to where you might want to spend your dollars. I hope this helps you make a decision as far as what you've seen in my videos and what I think of the truck. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps make your mind up about the Stampede 4x4.